Caseus, Jedi Apprentice. Chapter 3. Caseus was woken the next day not by the morning sun as was usual, but by a knocking at his door. He shot from his pillow, sure he had missed his morning lessons, only to see that the sun had not yet risen. It was still early in the morning. "Coming," he said as he got out of bed. Caseus opened the door to be greeted by his master. "Good morning, Caseus." "Master? It's still early. Is something wrong?" "On the contrary, I'm here to inform you that Master Dravok has reconsidered and has decided to offer you a position in his advanced lessons starting today." "Really?" Caseus lit up. He was certain that he had heard the end of any discussion of these advanced lessons after the previous night's mishap. Had he not been so tired, his enthusiasm would have been greater. "I thought he had decided not to recruit me after what happened." Master Takai smiled. "Apparently one of his students put in a good word for you, though I imagine she felt obligated after you took the fall for the incident in the training grounds." "Sarah? Really? Well, I won't let you down." "I'm sure you won't. Now I suggest you return to bed. We begin your lessons in 2 hours. After that, you'll head straight to the training grounds for your first session with Master Dravok." "Thank you, Master." Master Takai left the doorway and returned to her quarters, leaving Caseus to himself. He was almost too excited to return to bed, though he still managed to will himself to sleep within the hour. After his lessons with his master, Caseus made his way to the training grounds where Master Dravok stood before a small group of 7 students. "Hey, so you're in this class too? I thought Jundu was pulling my leg." Caseus was surprised to see Corbin amongst the class. "Corbin, you got accepted too?" "Are you surprised? I mean, it seemed like an obvious choice to me." "Humility, young Corbin, is paramount to a Jedi's life. I expect you to exercise such virtues." Right. Sorry, Master." "Caseus, I'm pleased to see you could make it. Have a seat." Caseus sat in the circle next to Corbin. "Welcome to my advanced combat class. In this class, you will learn more about intermediate lightsaber techniques and hone your skills within a controlled environment. This class will not be an easy one. As of now, most of you have been practicing basic techniques and studying 1 or 2 of the 7 forms of lightsaber combat. In this class, however, you will study 6 of the 7 forms, and hone your abilities with each one, learning the strengths and weaknesses of each style. Your goal will be to develop a fighting style that is all your own, and plays to your dominant traits and abilities. I will not tolerate sloppy work, tardiness, or excuses. Is this clear?" The students all unanimously agreed. "Now, you are all familiar with Form 1. You are all fully aware of its strength against multiple opponents and its weakness in one-on-one combat. This month our focus will be on Form 2, known as Makashi. Form 2 is a difficult form to master, but those who do master it are rarely defeated in one-on-one situations. Makashi is the duelist form, geared towards lightsaber to lightsaber combat. In an age of blasters, we rarely have to rely on this form. However, you may find it beneficial to have it in your repertoire, should the occasion arise where you find yourself in a duel against an unfriendly opponent. We will begin with basic footwork. On your feet." The students all stood. The lesson began as they learned the very precise and delicate movements and steps required for this form. Caseus and Corbin struggled at first. Caseus was not the most graceful on his feet, and Corbin's larger frame made soft and precise footwork difficult. After a few hours of work, they had learned the bare basics of the form. Running through the drills, Caseus could only pull off what he could only describe as a cheap imitation of Form 2, but it was a start. Master Dravok didn't seem very impressed, although that was to be expected from someone as skilled as he was. Of all the students in the class, Caseus wondered why Skywalker was not participating, though the chosen one was most likely receiving specialized training from some of the higher-ranking members of the Order. Caseus had only met Anakin once, and very briefly, but he seemed like a nice enough kid. Of course, people change. Corbin certainly did. "Excellent work. This concludes our lesson for today. We will reconvene here in 2 days. Same time, same place. In the meantime, I suggest you head to the archives and do your research on this form. It would be very beneficial for you to arrive prepared for our next class. I will see you all then." The students cleared out, and Caseus accompanied Corbin to the dining chambers for lunch. The food at the temple was never excellent. In fact, it was rarely passable. But Caseus was taught to be grateful for any sustenance offered. The galaxy is enormous after all. Chances are the food in the temple was miles above the cuisine offered in other systems. Poking at his food, Caseus talked with Corbin. So, what do you think so far? I think Form 2 isn't going to be something I'll be using a lot. Feels more like dancing so far than fighting. I'm sure there's more to it than what we saw today. I'm going to head to the archives after eating and see what I can find out about the form. Care to join? Oh yeah, sounds like a great time. No, I have a few lessons with another master. I think his name is Dravok. What kind of stuff is he teaching you? Well, according to Master Terran, he's going to teach me how to be a bit more subtle with how I operate in the field. He works with a lot of the Jedi Sentinels. They do a lot of reconnaissance and spying. Master Terran thinks I need to focus less with my saber and more with my head, whatever that means. I think I'm subtle enough. You're about as subtle as a bantha with yellow fur. But I wouldn't worry too much. Master Takai has me take a few lessons from other masters from time to time. Diplomacy, flying, droid repair. Stuff that may not seem important, but she thinks it's good to know. If you ask me, I'd rather focus on the kind of stuff that wins battles and saves lives. Corbin, we rarely win by rushing in guns blazing. It's good to be well-rounded in what you know. Corbin pushed away his food. I'm certainly not going to get well-rounded eating this stuff. I'm going to go see if I can find something else to eat. Something that isn't overcooked. I'll talk to you later, Caseus. Sure thing. Corbin left as Caseus forced down the rest of his food before making his way to the archives. The archives were always such a sight to behold. So much history and knowledge, all contained in the temple. Caseus sat at one of the computers and began his research on Form 2. After about an hour, he heard a voice whisper, calling him. He turned around and saw Sarah in the corridor. Sarah? Caseus walked over to her. Look, I wanted to apologize for the other day. I guess I can be a bit jealous, angry, pushy. Watch it. Look, the point I'm trying to make is thank you for not, ratting on me. Caseus looked at her. Well, I'm just glad we can put this behind us. I'm also surprised that you put in a good word for me with Master Dravok. Yeah, I figured we'd be even after that. Besides, I want another chance at taking you down a few pegs. Caseus smirked at the remark. I'm sure you'll get your chance. Anyway, I gotta get back to studying. You should research Master Dooku. He was a master here years ago who was a very notable practitioner of the form. Really? Okay, I'll do that. Thanks. Caseus and Sarah parted as he went back to the computer and continued his research. It wasn't long before he dozed off, and another hour passed. Wake up, Padawan. They don't like it when you sleep in the archives. Caseus opened his eyes and turned to see a tall Jedi with dark black hair and an unkempt beard. His robes looked like they've seen a lot of use, and his lightsaber looked to be held together with bolts and soldering. Sorry. I was doing some studying and... yeah. The Jedi looked at Caseus' screen. Dooku, eh? A very wise man. And very powerful. You'll find no shortage of information about him. Thanks. I don't think I've seen you around here. I'm Caseus. What's your name? Dravok. Nice to meet you, Caseus. Dravok? Corbin told me about you. He did. Only good things, I hope. He says you work on a lot of undercover missions. He's right. I'm out in the lower levels mostly, keeping an eye on possible conspirators, lowlives, and crime lords. The kind of people the Republic refuses to use resources for. I don't understand. That seems like work for the city police. Well, we can't expect them to take care of every issue, can we? I suppose not. Caseus, I'll let you in on a little inside information. The Republic is not always right, and sometimes we need to do what's in the best interest of the people of the galaxy, even when the Republic isn't there to offer aid. What do you mean? I don't understand. The Republic is losing its way, and the Council is not doing everything they can to help either. As Jedi, we need to be better than that, even if it puts us at odds with our peers. But I'm just talking out loud. I'll let you get back to your studies. See you around, Padawan. Right. Caseus spent the next half hour studying and taking notes, Dravok's words still in his head. Was the Republic failing its citizens? He'd have to do some more detailed searching on the issue at a later date. For now, He had had about as much studying as he could handle for the evening. It was time to return to his quarters. Walking past the meditation chambers, he saw Master Takai deep in thought. "Caseus, is there something I can help you with?" "No, Master. I've finished for today and I'm heading to my room." "I hope you made sure to take notes during Master Dralig's lesson. You'll find he's not as tolerant of slacking as I am. I wouldn't exactly call you tolerant, but I'll be sure not to fail you. Corbin is in the class too. He said he was being sent by his master for special training with Master Dravok." "Dravok?" "Yeah, I actually met him while I was in the archives. He seems distrustful of the Republic and the Council." Master Takai stood from her seat. "Master Dravok is a complicated man. I don't agree with many of his views, but he's a valuable asset to the Jedi Order. Corbin is in good hands." "Okay, that makes me feel better. I'll see you in the morning, Master." "Good night, Caseus. Sleep well." Caseus returned to his room and sat in his bed, the sun once again casting its fading light against the darkening sky. He looked forward to his next lessons.